I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and the name I have to use is Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married a Childers. I was kidnapped in 41. And take note of the dates, a couple of dates in here that I'm about to put up, and I'm kind of tired, and I'm making kind of let me say I need to stay away from it, from putting up a video the rest of the day and just try to rest. I put some up yesterday, and somehow I deleted all on my phone. I deleted a couple of the videos I meant to put up. Anyway, let me get to this. I started to put up a video today, and I noticed that there was a video up. The name of it's The Tragic Life of JFK's sister, Rosemary Kennedy. She was lobotomized. Well, she was lobotomized by her father, signed the papers, Joe Kennedy, in 1941 for her to be lobotomized. That's the year I was kidnapped. Joe Kennedy was specifically sent there as U.S. ambassador to England to take down my father, King Edward VIII. The Illuminati, the Kennedys, the Freemasons, the Mafia, couldn't control my father. He would not sign treaties, etc. That, for number one, that allowed later when they took him out and kidnapped me, that allowed the United Nations to be formed, and that's your front for the global government that they talk about in the prophecies, the end times. I had no idea when I was doing a book about mind control murders from 76 until it almost killed me. And there again, I'm going to give this, I'm not going to go into detail. It's too horrible. Let me get my train of thought here. I was doing the book in 1976. There's something else I was going to put up, though. It was about mind control murders, the Tesla files that were stolen, how you can cure an illness or create it. So they've always had a cure for diseases since before 1930. Probably that's when the files were stolen. Supposedly Donald Trump's uncle, who was a professor at MIT, had possession of them. I'm not going to say he stole them. I hope President Trump, is a good guy. I think he is. I certainly hope so. So anyway, I'm writing about those files and the murders, and I keep mentioning Larry Flint. In 78, when I was doing the book and living at Moonraker Apartments in Marietta, he was shot by a program shooter. Mind control used on the shooter, and nowadays they've got so many satellites up there, communication satellites, your deep state, that they can do anything they want to. They can program armies, etc. And anyway, Mr. Flint was shot, and I'm not going to go into any more there. I said his shooting was a program shooting, a mind control shooting. So was Governor George Wallace of Alabama, who ran for president, and that's when he was shot. But you've got people, the Virginia Tech next door, the 32 that was shot by a program student from South Korea, who was programmed simply to, if you want to call it simply, to turn around and shoot himself just like he had shot them. Same thing was with a lot the others and I've told that, but I'm going to go back to the Las Vegas shooting by Paddock. He was programmed. They even were going to autopsy his brain to try to find a motive. The motive is within the programmers. The man has no motive. He wouldn't know what you're talking about. And first of all, like this man up here, well, let me put it this way. Scott Peterson's on death row, and that was one that was programmed, and he needs to be freed. So and Timothy McVeigh was another one that said that he was the Oklahoma City bombing, and he said that the U.S. military put a chip up his buttocks. So, and they put him to death. So there's a whole list of it. But what I wanted to go ahead and tell here was in 36, Joe Kennedy was appointed by Roosevelt, Franklin Delano, a Jew, the president. And for the specific reason to control my father. Uh, my father wouldn't be controlled. He wouldn't take orders from this mafia, Illuminati, Freemasons. So anyway, when they took him down, and then he had made way. He was married to my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe from Madison, Wisconsin. He never had anything to do with Wallace Simpson. She married a double claiming to be my father, and there were several of them, and I put pictures up and all that on other videos. What I wanted to get to today was I was doing the book, and I was almost killed on April Fool Day of 80. And I've tried to put some of that up, but it's over many videos I've put together over the years. And I'm very tired right now, so maybe I shouldn't even try, but I wanted to get it up. April Fool Day of 80, I had done the book, trying to get it published. Had a letter from the FBI, ongoing investigation, national security involved. Now then, I have not really told, I don't think I've told it a few times. It's very scary for me because I should have died. There's no way I should have lived. In fact, there was two other, and this was on TV, there was two other on HLN. There's a division of CNN that's putting up a lot of these mind control murders I've been telling about. They still say it was mind control, but they're the ones. I'm losing train of thought. I'm mentally tired and just fatigued right now. I shouldn't have put so many up yesterday, and then I didn't mean to. I took them off my gallery. I thought I'd already put them up, quite frankly, and I didn't want my phone storage to go out, so I took out the wrong ones, and so that's why I'm tired, probably. Anyway, let me see if I can make sense of this. Joe Kennedy was appointed ambassador to England, 36, when my father became king, for the sole purpose of taking him out. And then my father had papers legally signed that were legal, went through channels that made me Victoria II the minute I was born. So I'm the legal heir, queen. Elizabeth's a fake, a fraud. She works for the Illuminati and not the British people. She's illegal anyway. The Illuminati, when did they get passing out titles and everything and who's who? I guess a long time ago. Every one of them that's been president, except Jimmy Carter, and I'm not sure they didn't draw him in, and I can understand a bit of what happened to Jimmy Carter. He was, I don't know. I'm going to take that back because he appointed Reverend Andrew Young, who's so much a part of what happened to me, UN ambassador when he was president. So I'm not going to say that all of them were part of the Illuminati. Now then, if I've lost you here, I'm going to just cut to the chase. Or whatever it is. This was put up, the video about her being lobotomized. It was 1941, and that's when they kidnapped me and JFK. And her father, Joe, helped in my kidnapping. And remember, they had taken down my father, Edward VIII, but this would have brought him back as my power of attorney and guardian. And now then, his daughter, he signed for her to be lobotomized, Rosemary. So I'll let you read what went on there. But anyway, April 1st, I was almost killed. I'm not going to go into how it was done. I will go back to, there was more than once, my God. But, yeah. So I'm going to go back to the Watergate tapes, the 18.5-minute gap that I put up here a lot throughout the last years on videos. The Watergate tapes, that had the 18.5-minute gap, was subpoenaed. And on that tape was Henry Kissinger, a Jew. He's your global government now, way the highest you can get probably with the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Bilderbergers, Kennedys. Anyway, Gonzalez was in on this, supposedly a doctor. He was at Parkland in Dallas when Kennedy was brought in. He was interning. Then he was in the Army, Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, and then he was in Atlanta. So this is where my husband comes in. And it's too much to try to connect there, so I'm just going to go to this. 1972, Gonzalez, he must have given me what you call rohypnol. Oh God, it's what happened prior to that. Anyway, that I was drugged and taken across to College Park from North Side there, near Roswell, Marietta, Atlanta. I was taken across to the trolley tracks. Everybody could go back and look. They were still there in 82. The big crossings and trolley track. This little clinic was sitting right there. It's just one story, the best I can remember. It was still there in 82, but this is where they took me. I was drugged. I knew what was going on. I was terrified. I couldn't reach out for help. Probably no one would help you. If a doctor has control of you, then people just, well, something must have happened to you. We better not just leave it alone, you know. I was taken back there in the hallway. And I've said this before, on this side there were about 5 or 6. A couple of them were women, I can't be exact, and the rest men. And they had their surgical masks and suits on. They were standing there, and I was trying to think they've got to help me. If I could just get them to help me. And I remember there was a phone placed behind me and the doctor that was suited too. And then Gonzalez was standing over me. I knew what they were going to do. That there was a call. If it didn't come through, the Brits didn't come through, they were going to lobotomize me. And I thought they were going to do it through the eyes, because I can remember after then being so afraid, looking in the mirror, and I had horror of, you know. Anyway, that's what's on the 18.5-minute gap that was subpoenaed. And that was going on when I started doing the book a little later, a few months later. I lived at Treetop Apartments in Marietta. Anyway, that's the 18.5-minute gap. And they they role played it when I was working for the district attorney's office in 1980, Fred Simpson, Madison County DA in Huntsville, when they'd almost killed me again, April Fool Day of 80. So it's the things that were done to me by Hyman Miller, a Jew, doctor, a horror story, not just him, and ongoing, and I'm not going to get into any more of it. When they talk about, I did nothing to anyone. My father didn't. He was trying to do his job. Had he been allowed to, you wouldn't have the UN unless they took a whole different route. Now then, which is your global government they talk about in the Bible. It's not just me saying that. I was surprised when I got into it and learned that it was connected with the Bible. I'm sure there's some more that I want to put up here, because what they did to my sons is a horror story, and you don't hear about me. Oh no. Maria Shriver, she was Kennedy, her mom, and she married Schwarzenegger, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and she was supposed to be the first lady of California from what period? It doesn't matter. 2000, I've forgotten. I can't even see. I got to get glasses. Anyway, I'm going to put this up here. Anyway, when they lobotomized her in 41, this year I was kidnapped and brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given another name. She died, oddly enough. She lived. Okay, wait a minute. Here's the other thing. She died January the 7th, 1965. Well, now I've lost. I can't even read. I can't see. I got to get my glasses next month somehow. Okay, January the 7th of 1965. Seemed like it's 2005. It was January 7th. That's the date of birth I've had to go by that I was given when they put me here. And it doesn't coincide with the twins that they gave me Peggy's name, they were dead. I put all this up so I can't get it all on this video and go back all over it. Anyway, that's the date of birth they gave me, and they marked through the state of Alabama for Peggy and Carl. And of course, I have to use this dead person's birth certificate. It's illegal, first of all, to mark through it. So right there's this big flag of what's going on there. Anyway, I've used that date of birth. And she died January the 1st, and now I don't know if it was 65 or 2005. I remember thinking she lived a long life. I got 86 down here. I came here in 86. It's got, well, I'm in bad shape. My eyes and everything going. Anyway, you can Google it. She died at Fort Atkinson's Memorial Hospital, and she had Eunice, well, that's Eunice Shriver. That's Maria's mother, I believe. The Kennedys. She had, well, there's a couple of more Kennedys there when she died. So, this is two of the same things that they tried to do to me. But it's all the other that's combined that's made every minute of my life and my children's a living hell. And what makes it, and I'm not talking to the friends, some friends that I have on YouTube. I'm talking to everybody else. The media who does not cover any of this, they're controlled by the people I'm talking about. They have Maria Shriver, who's a long time, and she still is a journalist for NBC in New York. She's on the NBC morning program. Now, not every day, but she's on there periodically. And she's been on there a lot, I believe, the last month or so, a few times. Now, the other one, and I have nothing, I don't know that much about the Bushes. Only the father was, her grandfather, that was just buried, was CIA director. But every president has been, from George Washington, Freemason, Illuminati. Jimmy Carter probably wasn't, but by the time he got out, he was. He appointed Andrew Young, who's so much part of this, the black, he was with Martin Luther King when he was shot, but he became UN ambassador, and of course UN is what I've been writing about, the Illuminati, the end time. Anyway, Henry Kissinger was on the Watergate tapes that were subpoenaed in the 18.5-minute gap that they would not let be subpoenaed, so they whacked them. That had him ordering my lobotomy. And I've told this, and I'm going to get off here because there's dates in here I can go back, but maybe you'll read it. And I can't see, really. I have really got to get and see if I can get some glasses. Well, I will get them. Anyway, what was I going to say? I'm losing my train of thought. I'm tired. Well, what was I going to say? And no, I just need some peace and quiet. Well, I've got peace and quiet, but some fresh air, and I can get out and get a little bit out back. I forgot what I was going to say, though. I'm trying to get back to it because it was important. Well, I really don't know what I was going to say now. What was done? Oh, I wanted to add this, and I suppose by the time it's over and done, or maybe this is told,